Okay, game one of a Group H matchup between NingZiyun and OldGreg. OldGreg spawning at the top right, our red undead. He is the first seed in the group and obviously performed pretty well. And on the other side, our yellow. Did he choose random? I didn't actually see. But I'm assuming he chose random. And he got Night Elf. It is NingZiyun, our yellow Night Elf player for this game at least. And NingZiyun came in at the 4th seed, taking a 2-1 victory over Grinchy in the quarterfinals, now to meet OldGreg in the semifinals. And we'll see what he does with his Night Elf. I'm fairly certain that human is typically considered his strongest race, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe his Night Elf is also good. OldGreg with a very interesting base layout as well. His base layout looks like a Night Elf base out layout, sort of, where he has some sort of almost block off with these, and then safe positions for tier 2 buildings in the back. But it could also just be he wants to spread out the blight. I think it's a viable thing for Undead to do, since most of the time their buildings are not under fire anyways. Okay, we see NingZiyun starting his creeping now. Did go for the Keeper, no Demon Hunter play, and Entangle first. So not going to have Treants for his next camp, but should be able to just pull and entangle the level 4 turtle if he wants. OldGreg gets his skeletons, starts his creeping. Wisp is actually at 101 health, so it does need to take one more hit before a coil can kill it. And NingZiyun dropping a shop right now. Not sure if he's planning to still cancel it, but maybe he'll just let it go up. He does indeed pull the creep, not actually using the entangle though, at least not yet, which makes this going to be a pretty slow creep. Maybe he just wants to get one of these small turtles first, and then treants instead. Yeah, OldGreg tech started, continues to creep, should be able to get level 2 here. NingZiyun on the other side, still struggling with this creep. Taking a long time, honestly, without just using Entangle. And should be starting his tech soon as well. Finally gets his treants. But honestly, if he had just Entangled, he would have spent 25 less mana and already been done with the creep a long time ago. So I don't know. But now he has treants for the next creep, so not necessarily bad. Staff of Telly picked out for OldGreg. He's looking to harass a little bit. Ghouls also chasing away the Wisp on the top side. Graveyard on the way. No second Crypt or Nerubian yet. Not sure if we will see Gargs or if he will transition to Fiends later. And NingZiyun actually giving up on the level 5 here. Interesting choice. I think finishing the level 5 creep probably would have been better, but he does want to defend as soon as possible, get OldGreg out of his base. And OldGreg needs to staff soon. Okay. Does not get to use his staff, a little afraid of taking too much damage, and actually ends up expending his TP there. So while I felt it would have been better to just take out the level 5 here, NingZiyun did get value out of it. He got rid of the Undead's TP, put a lot of damage on that Death Knight. So he's in a fairly decent position. OldGreg looking to clear his expansion now. Does not appear that he's planning to expand, but getting the camp open can be pretty good. He needs to be pretty careful with his Death Knight though. It's getting hit by quite a few things. Okay. Might want to head to the fountain with his Death Knight as soon as possible. Likely just wants to pick up the item first. Yeah, NingZiyun doing some pulling here, finishing off the camp. And the tree already finished, going to be walking in here. NingZiyun has reached level 3 at a pretty good timing. Hunter's Hall on the way. Tier 2 super late, however. I believe. It looks super late to me, at least. And that's probably because he made Hunter's Hall, Third Moonwell, Ancient of Wonders, and maybe extra Wisps. I guess it's not, I don't know, maybe it's not too late. It seems kind of late. But he has an expo up, so maybe it's fine. This means his second hero and his potential lures will not be up for a while. And he actually gets an Acolyte during the tech. Oof. And now OldGreg having to make a real decision here to continue the tech. Or no, wait, no, he didn't. Didn't he get an Acolyte? Maybe it was just pulled off and I didn't see it. Now he's getting an Acolyte. OldGreg! OldGreg! No! Now he got an Acolyte. Oh, feels bad, man. But at the end of the day, the Citadel is 2/3 complete, so not the biggest loss ever. But he is trapped as well, and will need to chop this tree to get out. NingZiyun, interestingly enough, going right back in. Not going to get a ton of value out of this though. Assuming a coil comes out, and it does. And taking a lot of damage here is definitely a problem on the keeper. That entangle also will not... Okay, well, it might kill a goal now that he attacked it. Do we see a coil? We do. But another entangle coming out, and I think that will secure the kill. However, if we look at the Moonwell situation, Lore's pretty late. Second hero not out, not leveled. Moonwell's empty. I didn't even see if he got us around, but he put some more damage on the keeper. Forced the staff out. And honestly, if Undead does the tier 3 timing push here, picks up a third hero, Ghoul Frenzy, like it's a bit scary. However, for some reason, OldGreg's resource count is really low. Or his unit count, because of his resources, and I'm not sure why. Maybe that Ritual Dagger he purchased, it looks like he ended up selling it. Might have been an accidental purchase. Might want to see him sell the Ring +4 as well. Get that third hero online, get a statue, Ghoul Frenzy, 1 or 2 fiends, and push. Because if he can do that before the Demon Hunter levels too much, he should be fine. And yeah, NingZiyun, I don't know, dude. This is looking kind of sketchy. He has like nothing to creep with. Yeah, NingZiyun on the other side doesn't have much units either. He's only just now getting all of his Dryads. A ton in queue. Keeper trying to come in again, but he's gonna eat a Nova and maybe a coil. Is the Death Knight nearby? This keeper is gonna have to tee out, dude. Oof, and that's super costly. Because there's no Moonwells. The trick here might actually be to purchase a Moonstone and head to the fountain. Pop the Moonstone. Use the fountain during that 30-second night. Heal up your heroes. Like, it'll be super slow. Oh my god. Headshot on the Demon Hunter. The coil from downtown. OldGreg ain't having none of that. Question mark? And yeah, this is what happens when you drain your moon wells too much. You always got to be conscious as the elf how much damage you're taking when you're doing this sort of harass with the keeper. Because the keeper can drain your moon wells so much if your mana and stuff is low as well. OldGreg now bringing across his frenzy ghouls. No third hero though. And the ghouls a little late to arrive. So not the strongest push ever. Plus he only has one coil that only just came off cooldown. No mana potion either. So honestly, OldGreg's in a bit of a rough spot here. These ghouls not going to do too well without a higher fiend count or a third hero to help as well. And a counter expo might be the play instead for OldGreg. Or hero focus, of course. Hero focus definitely a viable answer as well. Yeah, NingZiyun so far does have the unit count to fight this, even with the earlier missteps. Oh, but the keeper caught out up front, should be able to get away, but might need to go heal up at the fountain, which could take a while. Meanwhile, OldGreg trying to pick apart these dryads, but without the lich hitting, does take a while. However, dryads don't really do much to the heroes here. So NingZiyun does need to be careful not to feed too many dryads. Demon Hunter is arriving though, and with mana burn can do some good things, but instantly coil nova'd Demon Hunter, suddenly less than half health. But an entangle comes back in, and OldGreg might have to TP out now. Do we have a way to save this fiend? Frost armor? Not enough. The Dryad count getting quite high. NingZiyun has a lot of bank.
A player's forces are under attack.
I feel like OldGreg's army was pretty small, and I'm not really sure why. He did lose the one acolyte, but it wasn't, I don't know, I don't feel like it should have affected that much. Especially, but it might have just been that he purchased that ritual dagger as well, I think accidentally, and then had to having to resell it. Maybe he should have sold that ring +4 and had a third hero there in the push. If he had like a Naga, you know, maybe that keeper when he got Coil Nova'd would have died. Maybe the Demon Hunter would have been another 100 or 200 health lower, or things like that. And with the third hero, focusing the Dryads would have also been a bit easier. But we'll see what he can do. The Dryad count is high, however the Demon Hunter has not actually reached level 3 yet. And NingZiyun probably looking to pull the center, get the Ogre, get level 3 DH. Bringing Dryads up top, but this is actually a bad play. OldGreg doesn't realize. NingZiyun's not here, bro. Kill the Dryads. He was scared that NingZiyun was fighting, but he was just sending Dryads up. These are just free food. And NingZiyun's preoccupied with the center. He's feeding them. 2 Dryads down. Level 4 DK unlocked. This Dryad will escape though. I think that could have gone even better for OldGreg, or worse for NingZiyun. However, OldGreg maybe realizing a little too late it was only a small pack of Dryads. The actual army was in the center. And NingZiyun gets a Ancient Django. That is going to cause problems. One of the better items that you can get as Night Elf, a move speed aura, and that attack speed. So nice. Keeper getting focused, but the Destroyer in return also getting focused, even the Lich a bit. Now going for the Fiends. However, a Coil and Devour does save that one Fiend. Demon Hunter, going to be a problem though, still has Invuln and Scroll of Healing. There is TP and Staff on the Keeper as well. Actually popped the Staff during the Invuln. I think Demon Hunter could have stayed a little bit longer. However, he has healed up at his base. And OldGreg, hero dropping so low, no mana, little health on the DK. The Lich does have a Nova in 5 mana. Keeper needs to be a little careful. Lich does have mana now. We might see a Nova on the Keeper. Nova on the Keeper. Oh, Demon Hunter gets the burn off in time. Oh, did he not use his Invuln earlier? Maybe he didn't even use the Invuln and just staffed. Oof. And now the Dryad count a little too high. Do we have anything? There's no ghouls to bring over. OldGreg's kind of trapped, and this looks like it's probably the end. NingZiyun's army a little too strong for OldGreg to deal with anymore. And now he shall take out this expansion over time. Keeper managed to heal up as well. Repair starting to come out, but one Nerubian against Dryads. It's a close fight, but I think the Dryads and 2 heroes will eventually have this fight over the Nerubian. Close fight though. Yeah, NingZiyun finally gets a Shredder to solve his wood problems. He's had quite a lot of gold this entire game. And a second crypt coming out for OldGreg. Maybe looking to try gargoyles. I mean, there isn't a panda, but usually when the Dryad count gets this high and the economic advantage is this much, it's hard to come back with gargoyles. They're more of the type of unit you need to start with instead to keep whittling down the Dryads in each of the early fights. And actually it's just Fiends for now. So just wants that extra production for more Fiends. But I don't know. It's going to be hard to produce off all 3 production buildings. Maybe planning to not use the slaughter much. And we'll see what sort of timing OldGreg can do anymore. Going to wait for his Lich. Will we see him double pump Fiends a couple rounds of Fiends and then push? It looks like he's going for something else. I don't know if this will work, but if unscouted, maybe there's a chance. Could get some towers up. NingZiyun going to continue creeping, it looks like. And probably a good choice. Getting the Demon Hunter to level 5 is definitely a way to secure a victory. But NingZiyun does have bears now. They do have master training. And the Demon Hunter might be level 5 off this creep if solo XP. So far the Keeper's kind of stealing some of the XP though. However, OldGreg, you know, still managing to hold on, camping a little in his base, starting to get up a tower potentially, but no wood to even really think about expanding. Would probably need to purchase another ghoul if he wants to try to actually get an expo up. NingZiyun putting up a tree in the center. And will look to get his level 5 DH here from the creep camp. We'll need to get rid of an item to grab this. And he gets 12th loss for his level 5 DH. That's gonna be a problem. Wisp goes down. And a Chimera Roost coming up. I'm unsure of why NingZiyun's playing this passive. Because honestly, giving this time to the Undead does give the Undead a chance. So, you know. I mean, NingZiyun obviously in a commanding position should still have this. Of course, especially with the hero levels 5-5. But there is a small chance with Disease Cloud with some sort of hero nuke. However, level 5 DH going to be a huge problem. Endurance Aura, Quel'Thalas, Clause 9, Orb Venom, all these are going to be a huge problem. But yeah, if NingZiyun like throws like this, what do you? Oh my god! Ooh, almost screwed up there, getting his DH surrounded, but manages to squeeze out, get off the staff in time. That's what I'm saying. If he screws up, I mean, could see some XP jumps if the DK gets 5 off of some big kill like that. You know, those level 3 coils could really hurt. But for now, NingZiyun can, of course, just rebuy his heroes if needed. Continuing to creep, continuing to get upgrades. 3-1. Chimera Fairies. Interesting choice for the fairies.
A town is under siege.
But I guess they can be okay. Usually you'd want hippos first. DK looking to probably pick up an invuln here. And we should see some sort of push soon. But yeah, NingZiyun taking it very slow. He gets ruined bracers to top off his Quel'Thalas and Clause 9 on the team. He has an Expo Center. And for OldGreg, likely needs a couple meat wagons, but with chimeras on the field as well, I don't know how well they will actually do. Probably up to whether NingZiyun takes a bad fight or not. But he is at 100 food. And his items and heroes, very scary. Did not actually pick up a second orb, however. Would probably like to see boots sold and a second orb picked up. Yeah, pretty passive so far. And NingZiyun will have Corrosive Breath Chimeras attacking pretty soon, getting his 3rd armor upgrade now. And finally going in with a load of treants up front. We see the Demon Hunter trying to get back to that Lich, taking a bit of damage from the Coil Nova, but still at half health, can easily get staffed out and heal up. And the rest of the Elf army looking mighty strong against this Undead army of 60 food only. Demon Hunter already back in the fight. Mana burn on the Lich. Lich is out of mana now. DK still has half mana. Pops his invuln to make sure he does not get burned, but the rest of the Undead army falling too quickly. And OldGreg calls the GG. NingZiyun 1-0. Right spawn. Our yellow Night Elf. NingZiyun. Once again going for standard altar build. And bottom left spawn. is our red undead, OldGreg, and he is going for the ghoul build once again. Will be interesting to see if we see some differences, whether it be a fast expo from OldGreg or maybe even a ghoul rush. That's been popular these days. Who knows? But yeah. First game was definitely rough for OldGreg. I felt like there were some good moments. You know, the early wasn't terrible. NingZiyun had really late tech, really late second hero levels, late dryads. But OldGreg's army for the push wasn't looking too scary. Having only like one fiend that got picked off before the second fiend showed up. No second hero. No mana potion. Otherwise, with things like that, maybe he could have just won it right away with the push. However, NingZiyun was able to hold that. Wisp gets away with 102 health. Will need another hit before a coil will kill. NingZiyun bringing 2 wisps over. It is a demon hunter. So no keeper this time. Interesting. But he's not actually pulling the camp yet. Doing it very slowly. Looks like he wants some different positioning for his Ancient of War. However, I don't know if this is really even better. Like, it's honestly just taking a long time. And he still took damage on his DH. But he will get the creep done eventually anyways. OldGreg creeping himself does pick up the sack skull. Does look like it will be an expansion play, but wants to get some skeletons first. And this should be fairly decent for OldGreg, especially with how slow NingZiyun's creep is, and the fact that the demon hunter is half health and gets a wand of mana stealing. Not a great situation for the elf so far. Will he go for the murlocs as well? He is actually going to come across with a half health demon hunter. Not going to be the strongest thing I've ever seen, but being there as soon as the undead starts the camp will be helpful. And OldGreg looking to quickly take out the low creeps. Will get burned before his second coil probably. Oh, he actually saved the burn for the steal but did not get it. And now the demon hunter needs to be careful of his round. There is a coil available, not using it so far. Finally decides to use it on one of the ghouls. The other ghoul trying to run away with the unholy aura, but a couple more hits does take it out. And OldGreg continuing to attempt this around, but NingZiyun finally going to escape out. The camp not too scary though. The trapper actually does not have bloodlust on it, and the ogre is already dead. So not a bad situation for OldGreg. Should be able to at least get the ziggurat up. And if NingZiyun's not careful, he may end up losing his TP. However, the ghoul does get one more ghoul pick off. That's 2 ghouls down in this harass. Honestly, better than I was expecting for the night elf. But no cancels, no acolyte kill. And demon hunter still quite low. OldGreg does need to be a bit careful. Might want to play a bit passively. Stay near his expo. Make sure to macro properly. Get up that Nerubian as soon as possible. More acolytes. You know, all of those things. So far, just kind of scouting around. Maybe he's looking for wisps nearby. Yeah, it does see the archer coming in. Knows the elf is likely to follow with his demon hunter soon. And probably wants to get off one more coil before getting burned. Do we have the coil? Coil! Okay, we do get the coil off. NingZiyun actually not using his mana burns too well so far. But he has boots, circlet, staff of Telly. I think he sold the wand of mana stealing. And we have the tech already, which is an interesting choice because the gold mine's about to come up and he did not saturate it yet. I think it's a mistake because there's no necropolis here. OldGreg, maybe with a bit of mistake there on the tech. He saw the resources looking good for the tech, but I mean, without the expansion saturated, might as well just not expanded then. However, we do see a bit of a fight here, but the Panda Breath of Fire putting in work on these ghouls. OldGreg needs to be a little careful. Has put a lot of damage on the Demon Hunter in return, but NingZiyun with those slippers, that circlet, putting in a lot of return damage as well. And more ghouls fall. We see only one Acolyte on the Expo. Tech was not cancelled either. So still a long ways to go before this mine ever gets saturated. However, the expansion is up. OldGreg going for a surround on the Panda and should be able to get it. NingZiyun potentially trying to pass the staff, not going to do so though. Panda will fall, but at the cost of a lot of ghouls. And NingZiyun's probably fine with that trade. However, he would like to not lose his TP here as well. Miss coming out on the Death Knight will keep the Demon Hunter fairly safe at 60 plus health. Still 10 mana away from a coil. And Sentry Ward placed in front of OldGreg. Not sure if he was listening, but as a dust, he might go back and kill that later. Do we see him pick off this archer? Gets it with the coil at the end. Lowers are up. Bears on the way. Tier 3 halfway done. However, double Nerubian, now a Necropolis. Should see him saturate his mine now with the main finished with the tech. And if OldGreg can just defend well enough with towers and Gargs, he might still be fine. Because NingZiyun has not opted for an expansion. And instead seems to just be going for a bear break. Does have the Ancient Wonders at a fairly proper timing though. Graveyard only now coming up, so no Gargs for quite a while either. Graveyard probably won't be cancelled as there is the Cold Tower main shooting away. Acolytes now finally being summoned in. But the Panda leveling in the meantime gets another slipper for the Demon Hunter. Yikes. NingZiyun seems to get some pretty good items. We saw Bracers, Quel'Thalas, and Claws +9 last game. And we see double slippers so far this game. I guess the big consumable was bad for him. It was Wand of Menace dealing. But, you know, whatever. OldGreg still suffering in hero levels. Only 2.9 DK. No second hero yet as he's low on wood. Needs to really have these ghouls at some point get back to harvesting. Keeps trying to go for a surround, but honestly, just harvesting wood and like letting the Demon Hunter run around might just be better. If he's not going to be creeping in front of the Demon Hunter's face anyways. Like, what's this Demon Hunter gonna do? He doesn't have Entangle to pick stuff off. Yeah, NingZiyun honestly getting a lot done in the meantime. Level 3 Panda. Another Claws and another Claws. Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Okay. And it does look like he's opting for a counter expo now, and I think this will work well. With how behind OldGreg's macro has been, there is no like triple racks Garg harass that'll cancel this easily, and he is actually going Fiends as well, no Gargs. And with only a level 2 DK, it's going to be tough to fight the Elf army. However, he might get a cancel here, but you know, NingZiyun will likely just cancel, detonate, and then just set another one up anyways. So not a huge loss for NingZiyun. He knows the Death Knight has not been creeping, still only 2.9, and he's going in with 3/3 heroes, huge items.
Players' forces are under attack. Town is under siege.
And there's just not much here for OldGreg. Ghoul Frenzy not finished yet. Second hero only just came out. One Fiend getting caught immediately. Does not have his Orb of Corruption yet either. Needs to back off and wait for that Ghoul Frenzy. Possibly purchase a heal scroll from his shop as well. Maybe even 2. He has the gold. Heal scroll, Orb of Corruption. Go, 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 go. Mana potion. And there's so many bears here. You can't really fight these bears without like a huge mass of Gargs or destroyers already. So this is going to be rough. He's backed into a corner. Might have to TP to the other side soon. Trying to fight, but Ghoul Frenzy not done. No heal scroll picked up. No Orb of Corruption picked up. OldGreg not having his items for this fight. And NingZiyun just smashing through with this massive bears. 4/4 heroes unlocked. And OldGreg's army decimated. He does still have lots of gold, but sometimes if you just can't spend the gold, it's just not going to help you. He will TP out to his expansion, but losing everything in the main is going to be way too costly. And the elf heroes scaling pretty well. OldGreg calls the GG. I always forget to update the score as well. It was 1-0, now it is 2-0 for NingZiyun over OldGreg. And NingZiyun will be moving to the finals.